So you're dealing with an addicted generation.
This is a big time bomb ticking.
This is no accident. Indeed, it is by design.
I mean, seriously?
It was my mistake.
I mean, I think we can all feel it.
Mr. Zuckerberg, would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
No.
On the surface, social media seems like a happy-go-lucky place, but there's a dark truth that few seem to know. We often see people posting their best selves on different social platforms, but behind that, we have years of declining mental health and cases where deaths have happened. So, from deaths and threats to illegal businesses, here's a complete breakdown of the insane truth about social media. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're interested in more mini-documentaries like these. Chapter 1. The disturbing history of social media today. We see social media as an integral part of our lives. Some people use it for entertainment, while companies use it for profit. However, the rise of social media in itself was a controversy. What began as a way to share updates and be social with your friends has morphed into a horde of initial troubles that shocked the world. In the late 1990s, we saw the rise of platforms like 6 Degrees and LiveJournal, which connected long-lost friends and made online communities thrive. At first, it seemed like a genius idea until the honeymoon phase was finally over. In 2003, we saw arguably the most popular social media platform of all time, MySpace, where controversies arose.
I think we were the biggest site on the internet, like bigger than Google, bigger than Yahoo.
So you were #1, like Alexa ranking.
Yeah.
Now, MySpace was the first true social media, and at the time of its release, it enabled users to make profiles, interact with each other, send messages, and do a lot more. Initially, MySpace promised not to share users' identifiable information or use that information in any other way, including selling user data to companies for profit. However, the world turned upside down when these promises were proven wrong. Instead of protecting user information, MySpace was selling it to advertisers. This information bewerken met de documenten app included age, gender, profile picture, and username. This gave advertisers access to private user information, which meant leaking everyone's private information to the public. Chapter 2. The rapid rise of social media. However, from there on, we saw a massive hike in social media's presence. The king of the early 2000s social jungle MySpace was overshadowed by Facebook, which launched in 2004. What lacked in MySpace is what Facebook capitalized on. With a much cleaner interface and putting people's privacy first, everyone fell in love with Facebook. Well, of course, a platform like Meta, which owns Facebook, has already surpassed over $1 trillion in market cap, but it wasn't always like this. What we know as Facebook today has a dark secret. So dark that even the making of Facebook itself is controversial. Before Facebook was even a product, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, always wanted to build an innovative solution. However, the world would later know that this solution was based on deceptions and lies, as his case with the Winklevoss brothers proved to be quite dark. Basically, in 2004, the twin brothers and their partner Divya Narendra hired Zuckerberg to build a platform called Harvard Connect. However, the twins accused Mark of stealing their idea and building Facebook. The case went too far, and the twins even got $65 million in settlement and Facebook stock.
2008 for a reported $65 million, part of it in Facebook stock. But now the Winklevosses want the settlement vacated, claiming they were misled about the company's value.
This just goes to show that the company that we deem the king of social media has such a dark history. But it doesn't end there. From there on, we witnessed many cool platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and more. All of these platforms had one thing in common: they were free. Many people initially wondered how they got access to such a huge goldmine of information for free. And most of these people weren't aware of the potential downsides of social media at that time either. However, it was later revealed that social media is built on taking user data and selling it to advertisers. Platforms like Facebook even got into trouble with the court multiple times for accessing user data without their permission. The rise of social media gave birth to targeted marketing, which is often considered dark, obnoxious, and annoying. Chapter 3: The Dark World of Social Media. More depth on the cause and effects of social media. But that's just the tip of the iceberg regarding social media. There are darker sides which have led to things like depression, mental health issues, and even suicides. The illusion of connection. So, what's the definition of social media? It basically means we are digitally connected, right? Well, that's just an illusion. Social media in reality is a comparison trap, a validation machine, and it gives you an illusion of connection. This digital world gives us an illusion of closeness, a constant stream of updates and notifications, which creates the feeling that we are close to our loved ones. But beneath that, the truth is quite disappointing, dark, and depressing. Whether you look at Facebook, Instagram, X, or anything else, it is nothing but a place where we show our best selves. We highlight our achievements, happy moments, and vacations, neglecting the one thing that makes us human: our imperfections. While someone might seem to have the perfect life on social media, you would be surprised to know the amount of depression they might have in real life. This is how social media tricks us into thinking that we are connected, but in reality, we are further away from the person, neglecting their needs and well-being. The mental health toll. The depression rate has risen to 70% over the last 25 years, and a huge part of that is due to social media. The way these platforms are designed is in a way where they push FOMO to the next level. But how exactly is social media becoming a mental health killer? You see, when people log into their social media accounts, they see nothing but people's achievements. Maybe someone bought their dream car, became a millionaire, or just got into a relationship. All of these things accumulate and take a big toll on everyone's mental health. We constantly keep comparing ourselves with other people, which leads to the feeling of low esteem, ultimately killing our mental health. What's worse is that the rise of social media is breeding loneliness, especially in the younger generation, which ultimately leads to poor mental health. But one of the major causes of why our mental health is decreasing is due to doom scrolling. Imagine you're a regular person. You go through your day scrolling on social media for hours. It's the first thing you do, and it's the last thing you do as well. What would happen in a scenario like this? Well, a study published in the journal Health Communication found 16.5% of about 1,100 people surveyed showed signs of severely problematic news consumption, leading to greater levels of stress, anxiety, and poor health. When all of these things stack together, it creates a further myriad of mental health problems like body dysmorphia, poor physical health, depression, anxiety, and a lot more. It just shows us that even if we're seeing people all happy and jolly, their healths are deteriorating due to social media. Privacy invasion has always been a huge concern to the majority of people over the web. But did you know that every like, comment, and post that we interact with, our data is being stored and it is being analyzed by complex social media algorithms that sell them to advertisers? While that might be a shocker, you will be surprised to know that location data from your phone's GPS can track your movements, which might disturb many viewers of this video. Features like facial recognition can identify us in photos and videos, even when we haven't consented. A 2022 Pew Research study revealed that 79% of Americans are at least somewhat concerned about the amount of data collected by social media companies. Privacy invasion has become a common part with the inclusion of social media in our lives. It all started when targeted marketing became a common thing. Aside from that, social media is the perfect platform for hackers to exploit online systems. When you add everything to the equation, even the wars have turned digital. The algorithm versus polarization. By now, you understand that social media works with algorithms. While these algorithms are designed to keep users engaged, what is the primary metric of engagement? Content that sparks a reaction. The algorithms are designed to give you things that you want to see, creating a confirmation bias and the ability to only see things that are in our worldview. In other words, you can say that social media blocks us from broadening our perspective. For example, a guy who's going through heartbreak might get all the sad reels on social media, putting him into an even sadder bubble, creating a digital world that would further suck him into an even bigger mess. Most social media platforms only show us information that we want to see. While that's smart, it halts our ability to think, broaden our worldview, and truly improve. The spread of misinformation. But when it comes to the age of information, it also promotes the age of misinformation. One of the darkest sides of social media is how easily misinformation can spread. When there's viral news, it comes out so fast that the speed of content becomes faster than the rate at which it can get verified. In the past, we have had several misinformations like that. One of the prime examples of that would be the American election result in 2016. The fake news stated that Trump won the popular vote and the Electoral College vote. This fake news happened even though the federal government did not release the official results of the popular vote in mid-2017. Notice how easy it is to spread information on the social media platform. Cyberbullying and harassment social media is a double-edged sword when it comes to bullying and harassment. The online environment has made people so comfortable with being mean to each other, which makes a much more meaner environment. And sometimes it is difficult for people to deal with cyberbullying, which has led to deaths. Nearly 42% of kids have been bullied online, and amongst them, there are people who simply lost their lives. Cyberbullying is one of the major causes of depression today, and it continues to get worse with the coming times. Addiction and time wasting. However, the biggest con of social media is how addictive it is. An estimated 210 million people worldwide suffer from addiction to social media and the internet, and that is alarming. Instead of doing something productive, we are stuck on our screens, doom scrolling and just wasting our time. Kids are not going out to get active and play, but rather spend most of their day on social media, which gives us further problems like obesity, depression, and mental health issues. To make things work, social media addiction is affecting every part of our lives, yet it is glorified to be okay. The rise of influencer culture. A lot of people love influencers and the content they make. People like Mr. Beast, iShowSpeed, Kites and At, and a lot more have become gods to some of the viewers. In the world of social media, influencers can leverage social media to build a large audience and get strong influence over their followers. However, this has bred further issues. For example, Jake Paul once promoted a gambling site to kids that was proven to be rigged. Influencers can exploit their viewers, while it can happen the other way too. The influencer culture is hard on the creator itself, creating many mental health issues, leading to their own demise. In other words, the influencer culture is a hit or miss, making social media more than just digital connectivity. Final chapter: navigating the dark side. While social media has its benefits, it can cause a series of misinformation, mental health concerns, and some illegal tactics that users would boycott. This video is nearly not enough to expose the dark side of social media. So, comment down below if you want to. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon so you won't miss our future videos.